Social media booting Alex Jones. Was it legal? Was it wrong? Was it right? Did Alex Jones deserve it? Do other people not get it? Alright. Josh, why don't you start off by throwing out your fucking points?
Okay. So to begin with, I understand that what happened was legal with Alex Jones, but the question is, was it fair? Um, and that would be based off of whether the rule has been applied evenly
Mm-hmm.
within the time that the rule has been established. And that would be no.
Well, we always knew this, especially about YouTube in particular, because YouTube really does favor big channels over small channels when it comes to their things. But Alex Jones is someone who has gotten multiple copyright strikes, or not copyright strikes, but community guideline strikes, like multiple times. And they always tend to forgive them, whereas a small creator wouldn't get that kind of forgiveness. So in the end, people have been more, or YouTube in particular, has been more lenient on Alex Jones than they have been on other content creators.
So you would claim, but that's a really strange claim to make on account of the fact that they eventually booted him for all the things that he's been doing for 10 years or so.
Yeah, no, and I get what you're saying, but generally when you get banned from a service, it means you're banned for life. Now, there's a lot of small content creators who find ways around that by creating a new account and never getting caught, and they probably never will, but Alex Jones would get caught every single time he tries to create a new channel. Because he's big, he's Alex Jones. I mean, Jesus Christ, half of America at least knows who he is.
So what you're saying is they've been very lenient with him, giving him many chances to stop what he's been doing, except for he's stayed there for long enough to become huge.
He was huge before he was on YouTube. YouTube's not what made Alex Jones huge. He was a big radio personality well before then.
But do you argue the fact that he's been there for years?
Yeah, at least a decade.
Do you argue the fact that he has done the same thing consistently?
Yes, he has.
So you're saying...
But this was more of a fed-up situation. I mean, this all started... I'm trying to recall correctly who started it. I think it was Apple. Well, it all started with YouTube originally, because YouTube's put him under probation, if you would say, about 2-3 weeks ago or so, where they basically took away... Go ahead.
It started with the Senate.
The Senate?
Mm-hmm.
With what do you mean?
Well, didn't you hear about the hearings involving how, what was it? Facebook had been botted by the Russians?
Yes, I've heard about all that.
Okay,
so how does this lead back to Alex Jones?
Essentially, once the question comes up of what is appropriate to be having on the screen, or what people are supposed to be seeing and what they're not supposed to be seeing, it ultimately comes down to who gets to decide these things. Well, the Congress can't necessarily decide that because that would be illegal. But one thing they can do is try to pressure people into doing it for them. And how they do that is by pressuring the companies, making it seem as though there's a public outcry for something that there isn't, simply because they want it gone.
So what you're saying is because there was a public outcry about fake news going around on social media prior to the 2016, that Alex Jones seemed like the perfect scapegoat.
No, not necessarily. He's not a scapegoat. He's exactly what they say he is. He's a person who spouts conspiracy theories. But what I argue is that's no different than the people who are already there. And the claim that they make, conspiracy theories in particular, is not what their issue is. They say hate speech.
Well, hate speech.
I can make the claim that many things are hate speech by the same standards that Facebook has. Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, all of them. By their same standard, they should be banning many, many, many more people.
And Discuss was announced today too, which is I don't know if you know what Discuss is. It's a comment service.
Never heard of it.
If you've commented on Breitbart, you've used it.
Never used it.
Okay, well, most websites, when you make a comment, you have to sign up with Discuss, and then you basically get on and you log in through that program, and then they moderate the chat from there. Well, today they announced that they are no longer going to run the chat service for InfoWars or any of InfoWars' domain affiliates.
Okay.
So as of right now, I do not think InfoWars has any chat service. So you cannot discuss videos afterwards.
So if I understand correctly, he violated their terms of service too.
Yeah, they were a bit more vague, but just general hate speech stuff.
Mm-hmm. So how many of these things have to happen before you begin to think that there's a problem?
Well, I'm not saying there isn't a problem. The problem is, in general, the fact that we're trying to limit these platforms that 5 years ago were great places and open forums for discussion. And now they're starting to go to the point where, oh, they got to be media friendly. They got to be advertiser friendly. Everything you have to say. You can't use the F word. No, then you're demonetized. Oh, you want to talk about your crazy conspiracy theory this week? Well, screw you. You're banned. You know, I don't agree with that. But we're not in that perfect world anymore. We are stuck in a world where they have rules, and Alex Jones clearly broke the rules. Will you agree with that at least? Did Alex Jones break the rules?
Absolutely. I've never denied that he broke the rules.
Yeah.
I propose that if he broke the rules, then many more have as well.
Look, it's hard to disagree with you on that because there's a plethora of examples. Wow, I used the big word there, plethora. But there's a giant list of like examples of what you're talking about. You know,
I compiled them. Yes.
Yes. Jesus Christ, I have like this huge list sent from him. I don't know if I can show you guys this, but it's ridiculous. You know, all our no viewers, but. There. If you can see anything on there you go. Look in that corner where he is. It should be there. Anyways. But.
Well, to be fair, a couple of those names are double names for some reason. They copy and paste doubled them. But anyways, basically what I found is anything that is gangster rap or just generally hardcore rap related is a violation of
Yeah, and I don't want this to get to the point where we're knocking out, you know, music creators and things like that because, you know,
well, we've already
Eminem. What do you mean?
If they did it to Alex Jones, they must do it to everyone now.
Yeah, and it might actually happen, and I'm not cool with that. I'm not. Look,
I'm very cool with it.
Thrilled with seeing Alex Jones going off the air, or at least off of YouTube. I'm okay with. I don't like the guy. I don't like his content. So.
Well, hold on. On a side note, what particularly do you find distasteful?
I find distasteful the fact that he convinces so many people about these conspiracy theories and talks to them about them like they're completely 100% real. And sure, he might throw a little sliver of wording in there and stuff, but I have heard so many Republicans, conservatives, whatever the hell you want to call them, come up to me and tell me that these just crazy asinine stories like Pizzagate, flies around Hillary Clinton, making her the devil. You know, Sandy Hook was an inside job. Hell, there is a video of a clip from Alex Jones's radio show back in 2000, on January 1st, 2000, having people talk about how Y2K just went down. Like, he literally has people call in and say that their power plant in town looks like it's about to explode and all this stuff, and how he's down there on the streets. It's a hell of a watch if you ever get a chance.
Interesting. So, would you do me a favor? Are you able to pull up an image without anyone, or I mean, to show everyone?
Yeah, but I'd have to. It's easier to do it on Chrome without me having to mess around with things.
Do it however you want. Would you kindly pull up the painting of the president for the Smithsonian? Smithsonian, yeah.
How the hell do I spell Smithsonian? So Donald Trump, I'm assuming, right?
No, Barack Obama.
Barack Obama. Painting. Oh, Smithsonian. There you go.
And would you close up, or if it's possible to zoom in, could you point out his hands and tell me what you see?
Large hands.
He's sitting in the chair, right?
Yeah, with his hands crossed.
Have you noticed that I can't remember the name for the bone, but he has two right hands?
Nuh-uh.
Do you see it?
Hi. Let me see. Yeah, he does. Because, so, it's definitely two right hands.
this is actually an important thing because it's referencing a Muslim, what do you call that, myth called the two right-handed king or prince or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can look it up real quick.
Uh,
Basically, the painter of the painting
uh,
is a person of some renown for his sort of like strange proclivities, and this is some sort of prophecy that I suppose he is suggesting that Barack Obama fills for the Muslim faith. So now that we're talking about conspiracy theories, here's a new one for you.
okay.
And there's evidence for it. So what are you going to do about it? Now, should we be banned as well? Because there seems to be evidence. And if you've ever watched Alex Jones's channel, he always presents at least some middling evidence to prove what he's saying.
No, I get what you're saying. Look, in 2016, during the election, will you admit that there was a problem where there was a large amount of fake news going around?
2016, yes. They were claiming that Donald Trump wasn't saying things that he should be, and that he was saying things that he wasn't. Yeah, I was fooled into this too.
Yeah. You're talking left side there, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Like the denouncement of David Duke.
Yeah. No, I remember that because he did denounce the guy, and then they're all like, "No, he didn't. He never denounced him." Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
that.
they cut it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's actually denounced it multiple times over his lifetime on camera, and they just didn't choose to play it. Not to mention, there's also the Hillary leaks, or not the Hillary leaks. The what do you call that? The video, the grab him by the pussy thing.
Well, what about that? There's nothing fake there.
No, I'm just saying that is abnormal. There was a 10-year-old video that someone's been sitting on for 10 years, and they waited and they waited.
Yeah, no, they did. They moved this ad on the video and waited until it was relevant, and then popped it out there.
Until they were basically an evil clown monster was running against the golden chosen one from Barack Obama.
He was also an employee of NBC at the time that this went down.
You mean a partner?
Yes, however you want to look at it, but yes. He worked for NBC. NBC did not want this video getting out to begin with during that time period. When the election came out. Well, the election came out, obviously they threw it out there. Because it would make news. It would help sell things.
They didn't put their name behind it. So it just suddenly appeared for all the news organizations.
Sure.
It's strange how that works.
Yeah, well, it's also how it works. I mean, when a video gets put out, it usually goes straight to the AP, and the AP distributes it accordingly.
That is, nowadays, if it's going to hurt Trump. I mean, that's most of the thing. But regardless, we're getting off topic. Alex Jones. Alex Jones is true a conspiracy theorist, but he's not the only one. As I just pointed out.
No,
there's another conspiracy theorist who painted the president and made that into our history. There are conspiracy theories upon conspiracy theories, and he's just reporting on them. At least he provides evidence and the sources. He's just not making them up. Someone's coming up to him and talking.
No, but the real problem is the fact that everyone just sits there and believes anything this man says.
Everyone believes anything this man says. Okay.
Yes.
Are the frogs gay?
There's some truth to that one, apparently.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Yeah.
Are they...
But they're making the frogs gay. They're making them gay.
So there is some truth to it, but it's not the truth that he's saying. Okay. So, but here's the problem. If there's a core of truth to it, right? If there's something there, and then he interprets it however he wants, he adds it to this great clandestine globalist conspiracy, and he just keeps adding pieces to it. Okay. That's his own personal thing, and he's on camera and he's entertaining, and that's all he needs to be. But once he makes a claim, is there a proof? And he has shown the proof when it has come to it. Now, when he did the Sandy Hook thing, was he just sort of spitballing ideas, or were people calling in and talking about it? Was he having dialogue?
It was a dialogue, yes.
Okay, so then he wasn't putting out lies. He was talking about people who had theories. And these theories, I mean, do you think they were lying, or do you think they actually believed them?
I think a lot of those people actually believed it.
So then you are upset that Alex Jones shared things that people believed.
I like how you're trying to entrap me here. Uh,
It's not an entrapment, it's an accurate statement. You are upset with Alex Jones for popularizing things that people believe.
it's more like reporting it as if it's real news, not reporting
It
it
is
as it was
it is
conspiracy
real
theory.
news. It is real news. What is okay? You know what? What is real news? Tell me.
Well, it's generally going on and watching a debate about something or looking up a news story or anything like that. It's not something that's complete speculation.
Mm-hmm.
And if it
Mm-hmm.
is speculation, it needs to be advertised as such.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you're saying that he didn't advertise it as a Sandy Hook conspiracy.
I'm saying that whether he did or not, there's legit people harassing people from the Sandy Hook event.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You know, there's people.
there's those Sandy Hook parents, they get death threats all the time over this. And
Mhm.
they're not trying to be in the spotlight. It's not like they're sitting there, you know, Anita Sarkeesian it up or anything.
Well, that may be true, but ultimately, whose responsibility is it to prevent those things?
Well, probably the police.
So why are you punishing Alex Jones for something the police should be doing?
That's, you know what, you've got me there, man. You really, it's hard for me to argue this whole point because, well, I don't like what he's doing. I, I think the world is a worse place if he isn't allowed to do what he's doing.
Well, that's an important thing because he actually served a purpose. So let's just say there was somebody out there who thought maybe the Sandy Hook thing was a conspiracy, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes on that show and he listens to the dialogue about it. He can still come away from it thinking that maybe I'm wrong about this. Those arguments didn't convince me. But here's the problem with the modern news cycle as it is. Um, John Lemon says the president's racist. Everyone knows this. Let's move on. And that's what happens. Um, LeBron James says, I'm never going to sit across from the president. No one asks him why. He just says it.
Yeah.
And then let's move on. Like, we are supposed to accept as fact the opinions that they present, and they don't share them as if they were opinions. They share them as if they were facts. And maybe Alex Jones can be accountable for doing that, but as far as I can tell, he does it far less because I can go onto his website and I can look up an article that he holds up on screen, pointing to and slapping to and screaming at, like, and I can at least find that information, which I have done for the frogs, which I have done for the Sandy Hook thing. And to tell you the truth, I'm not convinced that it's a conspiracy. I think that it was some dude who lost his mind and went and killed some kids. But I've heard all this stuff, and I came out the other end not affected.
All right, well, let's push this up to what happened recently. Apparently, there was some kind of death threat against. Oh God, who the fuck was it? I'm trying to look into this. Shows in recent weeks about InfoWords should be granted carte blanche on big social medias. Oh man, I had this all figured out. Now I can't figure out where the hell I put it. But
It'll take your time.
Yeah. But basically, the deal was he made a threat against, I think it was Robert Mueller, basically in a very awkward way. Let me check this out. Hold on,
I put the video online for you.
Oh, you have the video?
Yeah, I found it. Yeah.
Hold on.
I think it was yesterday.
Jones. Fucking Mueller threat.
And if you can't find it, I can show you where it is on the thread.
Alright, yeah. Real quick here. Some great video quality production here. Alright, where's it at here?
Okay, so do you
YouTube,
see the
Apple remove? Oh, go ahead.
last Tuesday, 2:15?
Let me see here. So yesterday at 2:15, right?
Mm-hmm. Let's see, where did it go?
I'm too far ahead right now. Boo boo.
Dang it.
Yeah, I know. It's just such a mess in here.
Now my computer's frozen.
Oh, you broke it?
God, I hope not.
It's done. You destroyed your computer. It's over. Over, I tell you. Alright. Anti-Young Turk, the Trump. Which video was it? Do you remember?
Yeah. He makes a. Let's see. It was after we talked.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it. Come on. Just do what I tell you.
Just hit it a few times. It'll work, I promise.
All right. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. YouTube Apple removed for content. It's right below Donald Trump's face. On after 5 p.m. I think.
After 5. Okay. So it starts with YouTube. All shooting. Oprah.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg.
So, no, you're too low. You're too low. Go up. It's last Monday. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, I'm too low. Shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alex Jones. Yeah, it's YouTube, Apple, Facebook removed from InfoWars. Yeah. Remove content from InfoWars.
What time did you say?
Monday, 5 p.m.
5 p.m.
Yeah, on Monday, 5 p.m., you sent something. And then if you go below that, you'll see Donald Trump's face. And it's right before the evening. So, yeah. Are you seeing Monday at all?
Yes, I'm in Monday. I'm at 8 o'clock on Monday. Jesus Christ. All right, 5:13. Okay. Here we go.
And all right, you see Alex Jones's face?
Yeah.
It's right below Trump's face.
Yep. Found it. YouTube, Apple. Yep, got it. All right. Jesus Christ. All right, so, where's the video at? Do you remember?
Where was the video at?
Oh, or is it just okay. Oh, hey, it's just playing. Jesus Christ. Okay.
That should be it.
Yep. What we do know is there's a cover-up going on.
Facebook has removed 4 pages associated with Alex Jones's conspiracy theory site, InfoWars. Apparently it was taken down for glorifying violence and dehumanizing language. I wonder what dehumanizing language means.
Well, there should... Whoa.
Jesus Christ, man. There's
sounds
nothing.
like Klingon.
Oh, here we go.
Like, sounds like Klingon.
He's speaking Klingon right now, Jared. He's speaking Klingon. It's amazing. You know, all bad things said about Alex Jones. At least he's entertaining. At least he's entertaining.
And aides to congressmen are being fired for pointing out these kids look like actors.
In all reality,
Saturday morning special.
The big thing that happened was that he threatened, basically in a very obscure way, to shoot someone. It was like, you know...
No. What he said was, and I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Was that Robert Mueller has essentially done some stuff with assisting people who are pedophiles.
Yes.
In a legal sense. And he said that, I think that Robert Mueller's clean, though, but I would still shoot him at high noon, politically speaking.
Yeah, no. I get what you're saying, but apparently that was too much for YouTube, Facebook, and...
you know that's bullshit, right?
What do you mean? You think so?
Yeah, I mean, I could go online right now.
Here's exactly what I think happened. I think, the first one shut them down, which I think was Apple. Apple completely banned them first. That was the first one to completely ban them off their platform. And then
that's the problem.
Everybody went, you mean we can actually do this now? And went ahead and did it themselves. because they were sick and tired of spending time and resources on dealing with his material.
That's 100% correct, and that's why it's inconsistent, and that's why it's wrong.
Well, again, it was inconsistent to begin with because they were spending so much time on his material. If this was any other crap creator, it would have just been banned instantly. It wouldn't have taken them a year to go around and ban it. It wouldn't have taken them 10 years to figure out that maybe this was too much. They would have banned him instantly. So he was already getting special treatment.
No, it wasn't special treatment. He never violated their terms of service. It's not special treatment not to violate something.
He did violate their terms of service multiple times. You even agreed with that yourself earlier on in this conversation.
Again, he has violated their terms of service in the past.
Yes.
And this occurrence is a violation because they claim it to be. But what I'm saying, in actuality, he did not. Okay, so in reality, there is no evidence that this particular instance that they're citing, was enough to violate their terms of service when there are other examples on the site.
Well,
They
sure as heck thought so.
Yeah, that's obvious because he's gone. But I'm saying if they've allowed him to continue, okay, that means that they have consented to his presence, does it not?
I do not agree with that. No. That means they're still making money off of him. They want to make the most amount of money possible. I get that.
So you do not agree that they have consented to his presence?
No, previously. I believe that they consented to his presence for money. At this point, the cost of keeping him and the cost of not keeping him was not enough. You know, the difference between the two figures here. The money he was making versus the cost keeping him started to go the other way. I mean, they couldn't monetize half his videos. They couldn't monetize half of his Facebook comments because the advertisers didn't want shit to do with it. So why keep him around at that point?
That's not true. There are many advertisers that were willing to use Alex Jones. There's many advertisers that have him endorse things.
Yeah, but they're not the advertisers that are currently partnered with YouTube, Facebook, and all that. They're partnered with people like M&M's and stuff like that who don't want to deal in controversy at all. And YouTube's spending all this money and these man hours here to keep his content on. To go through the list of complaints and all this stuff and figure out which is legit and which isn't.
Well, to my knowledge, according to Alex Jones at least, he had not intended to receive money from YouTube for a while now and had been receiving money instead from other resources like his products.
Yeah, exactly. So at this point, YouTube is basically just paying to have him on there.
That's their problem, essentially.
Yeah, but believe me, that's more than enough to fire the guy or let him go.
So what you're saying is that the platform should be allowed to, not should be allowed, it should be allowed to do whatever it wanted, but you're saying that it is okay for the platform not to tell anyone that once you become too much of an inconvenience, we'll figure out a way to get rid of you.
No, I don't think it's okay. Let's reiterate this here. I do not think it's okay. I think that's exactly what happened.
Oh, I agree.
Yes.
That is exactly what
I think that's exactly what happened. I don't think there's anything illegal about it.
I think there's a component that you're missing. Okay. So not only did they do it because it might be a costly expenditure of their time or whatever, but also because they're virtue signaling.
I don't think that has much to do with it. I really don't. No, I think this was pure 100% a business decision.
Okay. So you're saying that he's violated their terms of service multiple times?
Yes, and they are spending money keeping him on their platform to go through and moderate every single video he posts or every single Facebook post he posts or Twitter post he posts, all that stuff. He's going through them all. They're going through every single one of these. They are spending tons of man hours on this, and they're not making enough money to justify that at this point. So they have been looking for the excuse for probably a little while now to fully get him out. And that's exactly what happened.
So you're saying that previously that him violating their terms of service wasn't enough to kick him out?
No, because previously they were using advertisers that didn't care as much. Now that all these big companies are starting to become mainstream, they're becoming actual media companies and they don't have editors. They have algorithms to decide what is appropriate for media content and what is appropriate for not advertiser content, and at this point they only throw people, editors, quote unquote, at the big creators, and they decided that keeping this big creator on their platform was more costly than what they were making.
Mm-hmm. And may I ask why you've changed your story?
What do you mean?
Well, before you said that they now saw the opportunity to get rid of him, and now you're suggesting that basically he was.
They've been wanting to, but I think they were concerned about how it would make them look. And the second that Apple said they don't give a fuck about it, everybody else was like, "Oh, great! Neither do we then," because they figured they could take the media hit at this point.
Wouldn't preventing him from receiving ads solve that problem?
Would still cost them money.
How?
Because they still have to decide what is acceptable according to their TOS and what isn't in his videos constantly. I mean, there would still be constant moderation whether you want to or not.
Don't they do that for every big channel?
And also, let's not forget, they do pay for these server farms to put this information on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Alex Jones' content alone probably costs them $1 million a year to keep on. Well, I mean, not $1 million, but a couple $100,000.
To do what?
To keep it there. I mean, it costs money for data storage.
So you're saying that because it costs money for data storage, it's appropriate to get rid of somebody?
I think if they're not making money off of it, yes. If they're spending money on it and they're not, then they would.
Well, if only they would have mentioned that in their terms of service.
Well, they don't get down to the technical details in terms of service. But your original question, though, was, do I think this has anything to do with the fact that they're more left-wing? And the answer is no, I really don't. I mean, I can seriously come up with a full reason for this, for monetary reasons, not for political.
Okay, so give me an example of what he violated.
Okay, the threatening to shoot someone, even if it is in a joke, that's definitely a violation.
Okay, well, that's not why he was kicked off. He was kicked off for hate speech.
Yes, which counts as hate speech, and the word that they used was like dehumanize. When users violate policies repeatedly, like our policy,
they add that he mentioned trying to hurt somebody. Why is that even important if they kicked him off for hate speech?
Well, they kicked them off because I see what you're doing here. Because they were looking for a lot of reasons.
Oh,
they're not looking for one. They want this to look like they had no choice at this point.
Ah, oh, okay.
Yes.
And so they just went with hate speech?
Yeah, hate speech is a very general term, and it's easy to use without too much legal problems. You get what I'm saying?
You cut out there for a moment. You said hate speech is a very general term.
Yeah, it's easy for them to use without having to worry about too many legal problems afterwards.
Mm-hmm. And do you know what, if I say that I'm trying to bring awareness about hate speech, what am I saying?
You are saying that... Well, okay. So, if you're trying to bring awareness about hate speech, you are saying that you are trying to bring awareness about things you do not that you disagree with.
Yeah, that's essentially correct. So, hate speech is whatever you disagree with, and this company just says that we disagree with him. So
yes, but they have put in some definitions for hate speech. I mean, anything that causes harassment, violence, anything that can lead, like anything that's like offensive to one kind of people, things like that. Anti-Muslim sentiments are generally considered hate speech. Anti-black sentiments are generally considered hate speeches. Things like that. I mean,
so all criticism.
Not criticisms, but things that are used to explain why you don't like a group of people.
Criticism.
Not in the sense that you're criticizing someone for like a goal. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like you're just criticizing someone for, like, you don't like gay people. I don't like them. I just wish that they were not gay. That's hate speech, man.
Why?
Because you're sitting there completely harassing a group of people that have no control over what happened to them.
In the scenario that you provided, you've just indicated that this person that we're talking about has said to someone, I just don't like gay people. I wish they weren't gay.
Yes.
That's harassing somebody?
That's considered hate speech.
Why? Who's it hurting? Who's it hating?
The gay person.
It's expressing that that person personally wishes that gay people would just be straight.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
My example is pretty pathetic, man. Get off me.
Well, I mean, no, your example would be considered hate speech.
Yes.
That's my point.
Like,
it qualifies as hate speech. But what you're actually saying is, I'm supporting the gay people. That's what you're intending to say by saying that I wish saying that a person wishing gay people would just be straight is hate speech, is saying I'm with gay people. That's what you're saying. That's why it's hate speech. Because if you label it hate speech, that means that I'm on the side of the good guys.
Man, what? I'm lost.
Okay.
Well, you're gonna have to backtrack.
Alex Jones was kicked off of YouTube for hate speech.
He was kicked off of YouTube for multiple violations of hate speech that YouTube has determined were hate speech offenses.
Do you think these violations occurred at the exact same time or over his course of his service?
Over the course of his service.
Okay, so they're irrelevant as it refers to this because they've been forgiven. That's what the point is,
No,
right?
No. It says multiple violations in their terms of condition. It doesn't matter whether they're...
Say again?
It doesn't matter whether they happened now or 10 years ago and were forgiven then. It just says multiple violations. So, in their terms of condition... as far as
the company's concerned, do they hold it against you, okay, if they have punished you and then released you from punishment?
Yes.
Okay, so anybody who has been punished for putting something inappropriate on there, that doesn't have a little clause in there that we understand that people make mistakes and that we'll forgive this?
No, but they do things to help.
No, but they what?
No,
there. You said no, they don't have that?
No, they do not have they have a, like, you get it put on probation or whatever, and then after your time in probation...
Wait, hold on a second. You just said that there is no probation, and now you're saying there is.
There is a probation. There always
so there
has
is a
been.
Probation?
Yes.
Okay. So there's a period of time that you can be forgiven.
Okay, hold on. Let me just pull this up here. YouTube terms of use video posting. That is not what I was looking for. That's the long version. Well, here.
You pulled it up. You read it off the thing.
YouTube community guidelines. Here we go. Policies, YouTube. Yeah, that's a video. Where is the thing I pulled up the other day that I should have saved? Okay, here we go. Multiple strikes. If you receive your first strike on your account, here's what happens. It explains first strike, second strike, and third strike. If your account receives 3 community guideline strikes within a 3-month period, your account will be terminated. Appealing strikes, blah, blah, blah. And it basically tells you how to do that. So, if you receive 3 strikes in a 3-month period, it can be done. But you can also be banned for having multiple strikes. And it doesn't give a time period for that. So
it doesn't say how many strikes either?
No. Let me see here. Because I read this the other night here. Oh my god. It's great how you can find everything when you're not doing this. But basically, the way that it reads is that you can be banned for having multiple strikes, and that's literally all it says.
Right, and that's my point. Okay,
yeah, it's very vague.
Yes, that's my point. So I understand that they've created the clause in their own terms of service. Then they wouldn't violate their own terms of service if they're intending to get rid of them.
Yes.
So as far as the company's concerned, they've done
everything clean and clear legally, 100%.
For this one person.
For this one person.
Right. As far as one company's concerned, they've done it correctly. Okay.
Yes.
But when you add into the fact that all of them did it together, that suggests another more nefarious suggestion.
I don't agree with that, and they all have claimed that that did not happen, that there was no colluding between these companies, that it just happened.
Okay. No, that's awesome. So you're saying if all you have to do is claim that there's no collusion and then we're done, right? So the Mueller investigation's over.
You're a fucktard.
I mean, all we have to do is claim, right? And then it's done.
Look, I guarantee you it was not a collusion situation. I think it was 100% like, oh my god, they did it. Can we do this too? And everybody else is like, yes, we can. Let's get rid of this son of a bitch.
But that's the problem, okay? Because now they're getting rid of the son of a bitch, not because he's done anything in that moment, but because they just want to get rid of the son of the bitch. And they're lying now. They're lying to people. That's the problem. If there was a legitimate reason to get rid of him, that he actually violated the community strikes when they say he violated them, that would be one thing. But that's not what that's not. They claim that's what it is. But all of them doing it at the same time, all of them jumping at the same time, when 2 days ago he wasn't violating anything, he hasn't put out anything different in a long time, and now all of a sudden, boom! Oh well, look, he did a finger gun, and now he's gone.
That's
That's
exactly what happened, though. I mean, just finally, basically, Apple said they had enough. They're not doing it anymore. And then everybody else was like, you know what? We've had enough, too. Fuck it. If Apple did it, we're going to do it, too.
And those are all virtue signals.
You got to realize, all these companies wanted to get rid of this guy because he was not making them money.
Then they get rid of him. But why did they issue statements about how evil he is?
They issued statements explaining why they got rid of him. They didn't say he was evil. They said he had violated multiple things, multiple content.
Why don't you read one of the statements from the dude?
Alright, I'm sure I've got statements here. So this is from YouTube. When users violate policies repeatedly, like our policies against hate speech and harassment, our terms prohibiting circumvention of enforcement measures, we terminate their accounts.
So what he says, what that person said, was not that he did that. Not that Alex Jones did that. He just said, when this happens, we do this. Not that Alex Jones did those things, but just that...
Again, they're remaining vague for legal reasons.
I understand that, but what does it suggest Alex Jones has done?
Hate speech, violence, things like that.
Does that sound like a good person? Does a good person do those things?
It does not sound like a good person, no.
Does it sound like you're a good person if you stop someone from doing those things?
Yes.
So, virtue signal.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe they were looking to get points and save money at the same time.
Why didn't you read the Facebook one?
Right here.
Although, I'm surprised to say that the only, organization in the media sort of thing with balls, I suppose, is Twitter. I never thought I'd say that, but...
Well, Twitter's just under too much attack right now. Give them a couple more weeks.
Yeah, well, I really hope not, because it's hard to believe that Twitter would be the bastion of, non-censorship, but... Jesus.
Well,
or Facebook, the iTunes store.
To be honest, Facebook is kind of the bastion of non-censorship, man. It's a thing. You want to look up porn, go to Twitter.
Really?
Yeah, you can look up porn on Twitter, dude.
I know there was a child pornography scandal with Twitter
or Facebook. That wouldn't surprise me for either.
Or was it YouTube? I can't remember.
Let me see. I'm only going to get snippets because it's going to be a pain in the ass to find it anymore. But let's see. While much of the discussion around InfoWars has been related to false news, which is a serious issue that we are working to address by demoting links marked wrong by fact-checkers and suggesting additional content, none of the violations that spurred today's removal were related to this. It is frivolous. That is extremely frivolous.
They're just pointing out that, oh yeah, he's got a history of fake news.
No. I think they're more see, we're still doing something about that. We didn't forget about that.
It's a signal. It's we're still doing all this important stuff.
All right, final thoughts on this. What do you got?
Essentially, I understand that they are within their rights to do so. I think that it is, what would be the word? Unworthy, unjust, lacking scruples, dishonorable. There we go. Mm. These organizations have done something dishonorable, and I think that the public should punish them, not the government.
No, and I gotta say, this is a hard one for me to defend because I want there to be free and open internet, despite the fact that I don't like Alex Jones' content other than for a good laugh every once in a while. I don't like the fact that he tends to convince people the things that aren't true are true. I don't like any of those things, but the internet is a place for free discussion, for open ideas, and look, I'm for net neutrality, and this is kind of the same thing, just in a different arena. And I'm not saying that the internet needs to be regulated. I'm not saying that YouTube needs to be regulated or Google needs to be regulated. I'm trying to say that they need to look at what they're doing and understand that no matter how they just try to cite it, call it hate speech or whatnot, it's wrong what they're doing. It's still free speech, and they tend to forget that. So, yeah, this one sucked. So,
I don't know. I had fun.
yeah, no, I don't mean sucked for this. This one sucked for me because I'm sitting here trying to defend them when I don't agree with them at all. And
it's good that you tried.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't agree with the policy, but I do agree that it can happen. So, all right, let's take a break and we'll get to our next topic here in a bit.